The Yoshida brothers hail from Hokkaido, Japan, as the big island at the north. They play an instrument called the shamisen, which is basically a three or four string Japanese guitar. It looks like it has, instead of circle at the end like a banjo, it's actually in a square. And they play with a very oversized pick. These guys are one of the musical guests here at Otakon, and they are amazing. Go to my regular blog, and there's a link there that will take you to their website. You gotta check these guys out. They're really amazing. Words can't describe how good they were. As a matter of fact, after we saw the video of them playing at the opening ceremonies, I ran down to the dealer's room to make sure that I could get a copy of the CD. In the 15 minutes it took me to go from one end of the convention to the other, it's sold out. That's how good they are. I normally don't see that many live action movies at the convention. Someone has to recommend it to me, or I have to have some type of interest in seeing the movie. More often than not, I usually stumble into them. This year I stumbled onto one, but there were two that I really wanted to see, and the fourth one I kind of just sat at the end just because I was waiting to actually see one of the ones that I wanted to see, and it was a horrible movie. The movies that I saw were 20th Century Boys Part 2, Shinobi, Ichi, Ichi, not to be confused with Ichi the Killer, two totally different movies. And the horrible movie I saw was, or the end of it I saw was a biopic on Genghis Khan, and I'll tell you the only reason why you should watch that movie later. Okay, let's start with 20th Century Boys Part 2. 20th Century Boys Part 2 is the movie that I stumbled into. I really didn't have anything on my schedule at that point, and I just needed somewhere to sit down and watch something. So I watched this, and it's a very campy movie. I didn't see Part 1, but if you see Part 2, there's plenty of references to the first movie, so you won't get lost. Basically, in the first movie, there was a viral outbreak that was killing a lot of people, but it was stopped by a group of heroes led by a character named Kenji. Kenji would later be vilified as the one who actually released the virus. So the second part of the movie is his niece, who always believed him to be the hero that he is, teaming up with former members of the group and trying to fight this guy called Friend. Friend is a person who is slowly taking over Japan and using religion. He comes under a mask, so you never really see his face. There's prophecies involved, and there's a lot of action to it, and there's a lot of silliness going on in the movie, but there's also a little bit of seriousness. And the reason why you should watch this is because it's just non-stop campy fun. This is not a movie to take seriously. This is a movie that you sit back with a bowl of popcorn or a beer with friends and you sit and laugh at it. It's just a fun thing to watch. Shinobi is a movie about ninjas, obviously. It takes place in the unification of Japan. Japan just became unified and comes under Tokugawa rule. Tokugawa Ieyasu, that was the name of the leader. And as the need for these two ninja clans have declined because Japan's unified, the warlords aren't fighting each other anymore, they're still commanded by the Tokugawa to still fight each other. So they go on and fight, and they're really not understanding why they are fighting each other. And as this is happening, the two leaders of the clans fall in love with each other, and they want to get married, and they kind of want to end the bloodshed and things like that. And as it is true, as in all of these types of movies, it becomes tragic. Go ahead and watch this. It's a fun movie. It's sad, but it's got a lot of good action in it. Okay, see that. Okay, here's the movie another movie that I wanted to see, called Ichi, I-C-H-I. Like I said, not to be confused with Ichi the Killer. This is a totally different movie. Again, it's set in feudal Japan. Ichi is actually the daughter of a blind swordsman. She's blind herself. He gives her up to a special type of orphanage, but he still visits her and trains her in swordsmanship. But really what she's supposed to become is what's called a gozen, which is a blind shamisen player. These are women who play for courts and sing songs and things like that, but they're not really supposed to have any relationship with men. This is supposed to be their only thing that they do in their lives. Well, she gets kicked out because it is perceived that she has had a physical relationship with a man. Really, she got raped. Raped twice, in fact. So she wanders the countryside, kind of just in gloom and doom, looking for her father, looking for a purpose. And she comes across this village run by a group of Yakuza that it's basically an inn town. It's nothing but inns in this beautiful part of Japan. And they are constantly beset by these thugs, this group of thugs that keep coming in and screw things up. So she comes across another swordsman who, for some reason, can never draw his sword. But if you give him a wooden sword, he's unstoppable, unbeatable, the whole 9 yards, but he can't kill anybody because it's a wooden sword. So the movie goes on from there. I'm not going to tell you how it ends. You got to go see it. As with any conventions, you have a couple stories. I have about 2 or 3 here, and one of them was the fact that on Saturday, some person who thought it might be a good idea or funny pulled the fire alarm. That made 28,000 anime fans scramble out of the convention center and onto the streets. The blocks were cordoned off by police cars, fire trucks, the whole 9 yards. And of course it takes time for the firemen to actually go through the building to make sure that there is no fire and, for public safety. And it was just amusing to see everyone just outside just going, what is going on here? Come on. I was actually down in the dealer's room listening to, or watching actually, this person play on the piano and people dancing in front of him. And I kept hearing this beeping, and I looked up and I noticed that there were some strobes going off, and then Otakon staff members were coming down going, yes, there's a fire alarm, you need to leave. So anyway, I took that to be my lunch break, and by the time we got back in, everything returned to normal. But I've never been to a convention that had a fire alarm, so I thought that was pretty funny. Another little thing that happened was, as you know, I go around and take pictures and videos, and I throw them up to music, and I put them up on YouTube and stuff. One of the pictures that you see here is this girl from Fooly Cooly with a bass guitar posing for pictures, and you'll see that she's pointing at me. The reason why she's pointing at me is because there was another guy taking pictures, basically asking if he could just glomp her, just grab her and get a hug and get a picture. At which point she pointed in my direction and said, well, my boyfriend's standing right there. If it's okay with him, then it's fine with me. Now, you have to understand that there's a significant age difference between myself and this young lady. And I could see the looks from the rest of the crowd going, ew, that guy? And that's when her actual boyfriend, who was standing to my left, came up and said, the age-appropriate boyfriend, said, no, that's me, it's fine, whatever. And anyway, so I escaped being branded as a molester. So anyway, that's that little story. As I do with every year, I find new anime, and I take a look at it, and I see what I like, and usually it's only about 1 or 2 actual new ones that I like to talk about. This year they are, let's see, what's called La Cura de Oro Primo. That's the first one. And the second one is Bamboo Blade. La Cura de Oro Primo is basically a kind of fanciful tale. It's about this girl who goes to this school that's very heavy into music and arts and things of that nature, and she comes across this little fairy who tricks her into entering the school's musical competition. The only thing is that she doesn't know how to play an instrument, and she has no talent whatsoever. However, the little fairy gives her a magical violin. Now, there's conditions to the violin that make her be able to play. She has to actually feel the music, so forth and so on. But while she's doing this, she's in contest with all the other contestants who are all male. So, of course, the rest of the series is not only her winning the contest, but also her relationships with these guys. Very funny, sweet, take a look at it. I think you'll like it. The other one is called Bamboo Blade. Bamboo Blade is about a kendo instructor who is down on his luck. He has one student left, and he accepts a bet from a school friend of his who he beat in a kendo match back in the day. So anyway, he takes on this bet, and he recruits all these girls to come in to fight on the girls' team, kendo team, for the school. And I can't really do this anime justice. I can only tell you that you have to see it. And the endorsement that I'm going to give you is this. You know, when you go to a convention and you see something new, and you know that it's good because they only show 4 episodes, and at the end of the 4th episode, everyone just goes, oh man, because they're not going to see any more of this. They're going to have to buy the anime. It's really good. Go see it. As with all good things, they must come to an end. So the convention ended on Sunday at around 3 o'clock, and you got to see the winners of the AMV contest, and got some convention stats. Over 28,000 people this year. That's the highest it's been, highest attendance record. And we had a fun time had by all, and it will be coming back next year. I believe at the last weekend of July yet again, and hopefully I will see you guys there. Okay, enjoy. And I forgot to tell you about the horrible, horrible live-action movie that I saw at the end, which was Genghis Khan, a biopic on the greatness of Genghis Khan and why he was such a good guy. And the whole movie is to explain why he slaughtered so many people. Was that his attitude was that, well, if I wage war, my war will end all wars. What a nice guy. But anyway, if you're going to watch this movie, you're going to watch it because you want to watch the English dubbing. It is like as if they were drunk and they just gave up on trying to do anything meaningful with this movie. The other part of the reason why you should watch the English dubbing of this movie is because of Travis Willingham. If you don't know who that is, I'll tell you. He is the voice actor of Roy Mustang, the Flame Alchemist from Fullmetal Alchemist. He does the voice of Khan's childhood friend who later betrays him. Doesn't even match up with the guy, with this guy on the screen. It's just hilarious. Anyway, if you're gonna watch it, those are the only reasons why you should watch it. Okay, enjoy.